Pleasures of pursuit and the pursuit of pleasure. There are two sort of people, huh? One sort of people, they are on the pursuit of pleasure. They want to attain pleasure. Yes, and they consider themselves to be deprived of pleasure. So it is a pursuit of pleasure. They identify the difference that they do not have pleasure accessible. So what they do is, so they get on a pursuit. Just like sometimes I talk about the pursuit of power, pursuit of greatness, and all these things, they're really self-awareness. Yes. Now I'm talking about the pursuit of pleasure, pursuit of happiness. Yes. The people who are on a pursuit of pleasure, they cannot identify any sort of pleasure in their lives, and what they get aware of is that there is an absence of the pleasure. So what they does is, they get on the pursuit, they look around, they externalize the pleasure, and they look for it. This is the pursuit of pleasure and the pursuit of happiness, whatever. Now on the other hand, there is pleasure of the pursuit. The other sort of people who are happy to be on that pursuit. The love of the game. You know, those people say that he did that just for the love of the game. That is the pleasure of the pursuit. They feel that in them. They feel the happiness in them. They feel the pleasure in them. So it is really something. Those are the sort of people, what they do is they can identify. They milk, they pull the pleasure out of that pursuit, whatever they are doing. So because they are getting pleasure from it, they're getting, their journey is the source of happiness. They are the real definition and the embodiment of the student and the learner and the observer. They're processing, and who they are while they are processing, they are proud of it, not just of the results that they get, but they're also proud of that they can process it. Love of the game, love of the craft. They're proud of their craft and not just what they bear in the end. So the pursuit of pleasure, when the pleasure it is externalized, and an identification and insecurity of the sort that pleasure is not in excess, not observing the little things that contain happiness, not observing them, and they get themselves out on that pursuit of pleasure. And on the other hand, pleasure of the pursuit, love of the game. And you know what, let me tell you a secret. The people who get on the pursuit of pleasure, majority of them, they do not get pleasure. Yes. And who are the people who get the pleasure? Who are the people who get that happiness? Who are the people who get that? Who get that feeling, wow, that we have done it now? Who are the people? The people who have the pleasure of the pursuit, love of the game. What they do is they already identify that, yeah, they already have that pleasure. And when in the journey, they already have the security and the safety of the pleasure. They can feel that they already have that. So what that does is that it is amplified when the results come out of the craft. And when they reach the destination, yeah, the journey was grand. Whoa, whoa. Now they've also reached the destination. Yes. So it is also grand. And now they already had that pleasure. And now, boom, their pleasure, it is amplified, it is enhanced and increased. This is the thing. You only have what you already have. It is just amplified. I just arranged my hair. Let's take hair as an example. If there are just no hair growing out of it, and I just can't identify the absence of the hair, you know, like, yeah, my hair, they're not growing, I'm going bald. They're not hair, then there's no more or less. They're just not growing from the root, from the scalp. They're just not growing. There is a literal an absence. Do you really think that you will be able to grow from zero? No. The other thing is that, yes, there are hair, but they are short comparatively. They are hair, yes. And with the journey, with the processing, with the time of it, once they'll reach a certain length, the hair will be increased, just like the pleasure, it increases with the time when we reach the destination. So there has to be certainty that there is pleasure always, and we are never deprived of it, even in the worst scenarios that you comparatively consider them to be worst. You should always be in the stance of the gratitude. You should always be grateful for what you have: air in the lungs, hair on the head. So it really goes like that, really. So this analogy, it really helps a person be grateful most of the times, to not be a complaining spirit, not have a fucking victim mentality. So it really is productive, because it is also practical as well. The love of the game, it is such a grand thing. Suppose, yeah, you know, the people who love what they do, they're really, really good at what they are doing. It is like that. Love of the game, it always helps. So you have to decide that, can you identify the pleasure? Can you identify and can you feel that happiness in your life still? And if you have a mentality that you are lacking pleasure, you're lacking safety and security, that you cannot find it in the internal world of yours, and you're externalizing it, that, yeah, you have to get on a pursuit to attain it, then boom, there is nothing obsession over the craft. There is zero to none. Like what? Do you feel the absence of the pleasure in your life? And you think that there is a need for you to get off on a journey so that you can get it. There will be a corner of earth where you can find your pleasure. Are you like that in any way? And if you are like that, statistically, there is a possibility that you will never be able to get your pleasure if you cannot find it in yourself. It is always like that. It is always like that. So, and what, on the other hand, if it is like that, you like what you're doing and you're doing it is also a form of pleasure, like you're enjoying it. You can feel the passion in you. You're passionate about what you are doing. That is the thing. You have pleasure and it will be amplified. And it is also the reason that the poor, it stays poor, and the rich, it keeps getting richer. Because the money, it just amplifies itself with the consciousness and time. Whereas the poor, he can feel the absence of the money. And he knows that, yeah, he has to set out on a literal journey. He has to literally work, and then and only then, because he cannot feel the security that the money brings. So that's the thing. Decide. I really have been like that. Whatever I do, I have to feel it familiar. I want it to give a homely feeling. I want it to be a... It has always, for me at least, it has always been like all or none. Yes. Really, really. If I'm not good at it, then I don't do it. And there's a rare case that I'm never good at anything. I never felt it. In the important things, at least. So this is it. Find a craft that you are passionate about, really passionate about. I'm not giving optimism to the prostitutes, okay? You stay away from your craftsmanship, craftswomanship. I won't even call you woman. But yeah, and I'm not here for the optimism to the meth heads. Stop cooking meth. Morality has to be considered as well. So yes, I'm not spreading optimism, but there is optimism for a certain sort of people who have a great mentality, who are here for the humanity. That's what I'm here for. So yes, this is the thing that I'm talking about. Find a craft that you're passionate about. Keep it running. Get the fuck in, yes, loud in it. Yes, then... And then you will feel the pleasure. You can feel the pleasure when you're working on it. When you're processing your craft, you will be able to feel that pleasure. Then, with the time and consciousness, that pleasure will be amplified. And with the results and the outcomes, when the orchestra it plays, the pleasure it is attained, the pleasure you've always felt familiar to. I won't even say that you were deprived of. No, the pleasure you felt familiar to, you will attain it. Yes, because you already had that familiarity, that feeling, homely feeling in you, what you resonate to. You have to have that. You always find what you resonate to. Or if you do not, it will find you. This is how it is like. But there is also free will of a human being, and the free will of the human being, it can also get in the way, and it can resist that thing coming into your life. It totally and truly, yes. Suppose if you resonate with something, and you're just too insecure to even accept it, like you're just too insecure, like you cannot even have it, but you do resonate with it. You really feel that this thing, it is homely, it is familiar, but you're so fucking insecure, you don't even think that you're just too deserving of what it is, Kutiya ko kheer hazam nahi hoti. In that way, you just think that you're not that deserving of it. So in that way as well, the free will gets in the way of the resonation. Yes, you do resonate with it, but you just cannot accept it because you're just too insecure. You do not have... You resonate with the ocean, but you have a fucking cup in your hand. What the fuck are you going to take from the ocean? What will you be able to take from the ocean with just a cup in the hand? And you're also too afraid to dive in the ocean as well, because you're so insecure and you don't want it to be. You just don't know how to swim. It's a skill issue as well. So the ocean and you, they will never be one. There was one way that you just get something to take the whole ocean with you wherever you are going, and the other way is just diving in the ocean and you cannot do anything. Like you came with the fucking cup in your hand, huh? And if you, and on the other hand, yeah, what the fuck are you going to pour your cup with, and you just go home, little of ocean, boom. And you are so fearful and afraid to even dive in the ocean. That is another way of you and it becoming one, entangled. So that is the free will entering in the game, and this way as well you will not be able to attain what you resonate with because of your dumbness and because of your non-practical nature, totally, and low self-esteem. Yes, exactly. And what else? The pleasure of the pursuit, grand. You feel good by doing what you do, and once that bear a fruit, it is amplified in the truth. So understand the games of the nature and how it is like. And it never serves most of the times the pursuit of pleasure. It never serves. Yeah, the pursuit of pleasure, because you know the pleasure, it is a feeling. It is a feeling, and it is something. You know, I talk about the pursuit of the greatness. Greatness is something that you have to attain. That's the reason why I say that your goals should be so fucking far from you. Even if you attain a 25% of them, you're really great. Something like that. Yeah, you go watch my video on the greatness. Yes, it tells about what my views are regarding the greatness. Yes, the divine vicegerency and all the other stuff. So even if I attain a 25% of what I truly want to do, then I will consider myself to be great. And all the other things, literally all the other things, they're just subservients to that one big thing. So that is the reason I don't give a shit about all the little things. They're just a piece of a ladder to the greatness. That's what it is. So all these little crafts, they're just building blocks, more like that. That's why I'm so full of them, you know. Yes, because I don't pedestalize them. What I have pedestalized, even if I become a 25% of it, a 50% of it, inshallah I will do my best. Yes, whatever. But yeah, even if I become a 25% of it, it is grand. I can die I can have a peaceful death. Still with you, what I am telling you, yes, it's about me, yes. Let's talk about you. Whatever is then it is a pursuit of greatness, because it is your goals, your terminus, your bull's eye. It should be so far away from it that by going there you become the half the man that you become. It is great for the world to see, and you're still not satisfied, never settling. This is something. This is how the greatness works, and in the form of the pleasure. It is as well. You have to find pleasure in you. Happiness is a decision. It is a feeling that you're capable of producing. Happiness is a decision. It is the energy that you give. And the thing is that you might think that the grief and the happiness, they cannot go hand to hand. Grief, it is not the typical sadness. It is not the typical sadness. Grief is the happiness on having grief. Yes, it is the acceptance of the grief. It is something. Grief is the happiness and the pride of over that you have that grief, that you are not dumb, and you have that grief over it. To be proud of the sadness that you have, that is what is grief. Suppose if anything like bullshit is happening all around the world, And the people who were sad over it, they should be proud of their sadness, because they had that common sense to be sad, to feel sadness. They should be proud of their sadness, and they should be grateful to the love, to the God Almighty, that they had that. They were not dumb enough to stay happy, and the whole world, it is falling apart. So it is grief. It is settling on the sadness and accepting it, and identifying that it is not dumb to be sad. It is totally practical. That is the self-awareness. How will you be able to solve a problem when you are unaware of the problem? That is the acceptance of the grief. And the grief and the happiness, they easily can go with each other, totally easily. Just like the fact that the consciousness and the ecstasy, it goes hand to hand. Consciousness, it is not even an emotion. It is just being. Pleasure of the pursuit, grand. And the pursuit of pleasure, I don't think so, yes. Desired, huh?